pause. Hey guys, welcome to the first episode of the Through My Eyes podcast, which I literally changed the last fucking minute, but I like it, so it's gonna stick. We're gonna stick with it. um, so this episode's gonna be about how I got rid of my depression and anxiety. I feel like that's probably what I'm gonna title it. I'm gonna try to through. Oh my gosh, I cannot speak. I'm gonna try to film this smoothly, so I don't have to have it chopped up because I hate when podcasts are chopped up and over edited. But I'm really new to this, so bear with me and thank you for your patience and thank you for just being here and listening to me and what I have to say. So I have it all written down what I'm gonna talk about. I just listed off the topics and like subcategories under that. And yeah, let's just jump right into it. Yeah, so a little bit of my backstory. I grew up, well, I, well, a little bit of my backstory is that growing on my childhood, I did face a lot of adversity and a lot of crazy things happening to me. But I grew up relatively happy and, aside from that, and I never had, I would say, depression, like clinical depression, but I struggled with immense anxiety my entire fucking life, even till now. I've barely just been able to like get rid of it, but my whole life is so bad, so bad. um, oh my god, I just lost my stream of thought. Yeah, I struggled with anxiety pretty bad. I've only had a few periods of like serious depression in my childhood. I only became depressed or experienced heavy depression. I would say going into college and like kind of just being thrown out there into the world and becoming less naive and like gaining more wisdom and just like becoming an independent, person who thinks for themselves, who's like learning about the world and yeah, like just seeing the state of the world, especially I remember once the pandemic hit and like just so many like political stuff everywhere, like so much stuff just being blasted in your face. People are dying, like BLM stuff, like racism, like all this other stuff like aside happening and that just took a toll on me and that was I was already at a place in my life where I wasn't happy in college. I was in college. I wasn't happy being in college. I didn't want to be there. I wasn't surrounded by people who gave me a safe, comfortable environment to grow or who even wanted me to grow. I mean, who knows? But like that's just the way I saw it and the way I picked up on it. But yeah, kind of like uh, what that's kind of like what got me into that depression or kind of triggered that, kickstarted that for me. Um, but fast forward a few years after the pandemic, still in college, like going in and out of college, and still, again, with the state of the world, everything going on around me, my own at home personal circumstance, and unhealed trauma that I had, and stuff like that. Um, but I could definitely say that I'm in a better place now, hence why I'm making this podcast video, whatever. I'm in a way better place now, and I just wanted to share that with people because, oh man, it was a fucking journey to get here. It has been a fucking journey to get here, and I'm not gonna lie to you, it's not an easy thing, to heal and to grow and to want better for yourself and to not only want better for yourself but to do better for yourself. Because I totally 100% believe in aligned action and you know goals and words are just words, but if there's no action behind it, it doesn't matter. I'm a person of actions, um, not just words. And yeah, so I'm just gonna dive deep. I'm gonna dive deep. Yep, I'm gonna dive into it with the first bullet point I have here. So I wrote down, why was I depressed? So it's kind of like a turning that question to you guys. Why are you depressed? Like you have to find the solution. You have to identify the problem. And I wrote down one, my childhood trauma. Not only my childhood trauma, but my current trauma. That's like double whammy, like double homicide, my guy. Like, um, and then the state of the world. Well, these are all personally for me. For you, it might be different, but mine was my childhood trauma, my current trauma, the current state of the world, and its like impact and influence on me. This one's a big one. My lack of faith or no faith in God or the universe or a higher power, whatever that means for you guys. Um, comparing my situation, my circumstance, my life to other people, and seeing other people's achievements, and like, oh wow, I'm not good enough, I will never be able to attain that. Just constantly comparing my life. I mean, it's hard to, and I'm sure y'all know, because of social media, everything is just straight on your face, at your face, 24/7. And the last point I wrote is the cruelty of the world. Yeah, so the first thing you have to do is identify the problem 100%. um Question, what is the root of my depression? Like, what is making me sad? Not necessarily the depressive state, but what's making me sad? What is triggering me? Is it the people in my life? Is it the environment? Is it my health? Is it what I'm consuming? Is it several factors? Like, you have to pinpoint the factors. um and yeah, so that's it for that point. But the next thing I wrote down was, um stop doing what you were doing before. um and I wrote down, stop feeding your computer. I'll get to that. But the first part was, stop doing what you were doing before. um that kind of ties in, obviously. I tried to write it down in like an order, or to have it flow better, the topics. But yeah, stop doing what you were doing before. Clearly something has to change, because what you're doing now um isn't working. It's not. um how am I trying to say this? What you're doing now is also part of the problem. Everything that's going on right now, your actions and your environment now, everything now in the current state is probably impacting your mental health, your mindset. So questioning that, like, or not questioning it, just stop what you're doing now and analyze what you're doing now, and then process that, and then see in ways that you can stop doing those things that are harming you and taking away from your happiness, and no longer doing those, whether it's bad habits, again, people, places, things, anything. Stop doing that, because again, if it's not good for you, then why are you doing it? And that, not in a harsh way, but like, if it's not good for you and if it's not benefiting you in any way, then there's no point of having that around. You know what I mean? Also, by the way, guys, I'm not trying to like sound harsh at all. I'm just discussing things that have helped me, and I just wanted to share them. So take everything with a grain of salt. I always say, use your own discernment, your own judgment, and take what applies. If it doesn't apply, leave it. Um, Share what does, and help change your own life and other people's lives. And yeah, I just had to say that. um, the next thing I wrote down, a lot of these, now I'm realizing, reading this again, they kind of all are a little bit similar. Um, the next thing I wrote down was, stop bad destructive habits and behavior. This is a big one. Um, I'll start by saying, like, my bad habits and destructive behavior. One is lacking discipline, not having zero discipline. Like, I struggle with discipline and just time management and consistency. So that's a big one. Breaking that cycle, you have to break that cycle by stopping those bad habits, stopping those bad behaviors. Um, Another thing I struggled with, I'm not sure if I should be sharing this on here, um, but I struggled with smoking a little too much. I smoked hella weed all the time, and I was practically a stoner for a year and a half. And yes, I enjoyed it. I was happy ish, um, you know. um, but it affected me mentally, productive wise, especially. It started affecting my productivity, my school, my discipline, my motivation, all that good stuff. Like, it's just not good already to depend on substance and depend not just on substance, but anything outside yourself. There's better ways to cope with trauma, with pain, with emotions, with anything. And I'll touch on a lot of that stuff later, so I don't want to get too deep into that. Um, the next thing I wrote down was look back at your trauma, heal those suppressed emotions, feelings, and release them. So this is like shadow work, basically. This is shadow work, first of all, completely changed my fucking life, bro. Completely changed my life. I feel like it's necessary. It's essential for your soul's evolution, for, you know, if you're not into all that stuff, you don't have to say your soul's evolution, like just for your own growth, your own human growth, your own, just your growth and your journey helps you. What was I even saying? Anyways, um, yeah, look back at your trauma. For me, I had to go back and pinpoint. First, I always go back to childhood trauma because most of us have had childhood trauma, and your childhood trauma is kind of like the foundation of who you are now and like things that you experience now and how you think now. So then going back, if those things are not healed, they are still burdening you. They're still weighing down on you. They're still affecting you today because I believe in energy and everything is energy. I am energy, that person's energy, my car is energy. Like there's energy in everything. So if you're still holding on to those old suppressed emotions from trauma that you experienced from your parents, from childhood, anything that you've gone through, I don't want to get into too specifics, but anything, if you're still holding on to that, you're carrying that energy, you carry that throughout the years. Like that does not go away until you heal it and you choose to do the work, doing the shadow work. And that's where the shadow work comes in that aspect. And yeah, you have to kind of go backwards and truly pinpoint and discover like yourself, because I'm not saying that, right? You have to go backwards and pinpoint shit that you have been through, and because a lot of traumatic things have an effect on us, like that's just inevitable. Like whether it's stress for the moment, anxiety, depression, pain, your body keeps the score. By the way, I'm dying to read that book, so if anybody has read that book, please let me know down below like what y'all think about it. I've been hearing it everywhere and I'm just like, I say it all the time without even reading it, because I mean the title is kind of self-explanatory. Like your body does truthfully keep the score. Um, but yeah, once you pinpoint those emotions in those old wounds, you can then address the solution. So going backwards and pinpointing that trauma, that's kind of you. Um, this is awful. I'm awful. I just keep forgetting what the fuck I'm saying. Bear with me, y'all. um, yeah, I think what I was saying is, yeah, what I was saying is, to release all that, you have to go back and pinpoint the problem. That's how you pinpoint the problem, is addressing, assessing your old trauma, your past, you know, and then you'll probably discover like, oh, this happened to me, so maybe this is why I do XYZ, or this happened to me, so maybe this is why I do this or that, or this happened to me and this is why I think this way, or this is why I feel this way about this one thing. Like going back and assessing that, and then you can just find the solution from there and release that burden, release that weight, because you don't want to carry that, with you to your grave. Like so many people sadly, unfortunately, don't heal themselves. They don't ever question or do the introspection on themselves and their past and just their life, like your experiences. Because most of your answers are rooted there. They're rooted all within. Your problems are rooted within, but they're also rooted. Your solutions are also rooted within. So it's like you have to always go within. Always go within. That is if you take anything away from this video, is to do the introspective work and to go within and to go deeper, not just the surface level things. Like you need to really go deep, even though it's painful, you know, just there's something greener on the other side. Once you do that, there's a better life, better, you know, energy, better, just everything, just things are just brighter and better and happier on the other side of that. You just have to do the work, and it's not easy. I'm not gonna lie at all, it is not easy. But if you want to live a fulfilling, happy life, and you want to align with your destiny in this life, like, you have to do the work. And that's what we're here for. We're here to alchemize our pain, alchemize the darker things that we've been through, and turn them into light, because we are light. We are energetic beings. We are light bodies. And we have the power to do that. And that is the beauty. We all have it. We all bleed the same color. We are all the same. Nobody is exempt from, one, experiencing trauma, two, healing it. Like, nobody's exempt from that. And, at the, at, I know, I was gonna say atomic, at the anatomy level, we are all the same biologic wise, and for the most part. And yeah, let's see, what else did I write down? I'm like rediscovering this with y'all. Also, I don't know how long this episode's gonna be, so that's okay. I hope y'all listen all the way through anyways. Love you. The next thing I wrote down, do a full clean out of your life. Get rid of people, places, and things. I already kind of touched on this. Because in doing so, you will make room for those to come, and those who will want to be in your life, and not even those people, but those things that are meant to be in your life, because what's meant for you will not pass you by. If you're doing the work, if you're aligning, if you're in alignment, it will not pass you by. I promise you that. Yeah, do a full clean out of your life. Like, analyze your life right now. Like, is it, like, if you have struggle with, for example, your parents, they might be your parents, but excuse me. They might be your parents, but I hate that saying that blood is everything. It is not. Sometimes or oftentimes, the people closest to you are the ones that hurt you the most. And that is a hard pill to swallow. But so many people live in this delusion that blood is blood, and my toxic parent should remain in my life because they're my parent and they brought me here, and you're kind of just indebted to them your whole life. And that is nothing. That is furthest from the truth. That is furthest from the truth. You choose who you have in your life and who's present in your life. You make that choice. If people hurt you, just because your mom's your mom, but if she's like hurt you so many times and she's the root of a lot of your sadness and your depression, then, I mean, if you do the math already, like, the answers are already there. What is going on? Do y'all hear that? I love that. I don't know where that's coming from. It's giving Cartoon Network. I forgot that show's a Total Drama Island. No, probably the wrong one. I forgot what I was saying. I think I was talking about, like, yeah, if you do a lot of that work, oh my gosh, no. We're cleaning out our lives right now. Okay. So yeah, looking, like, at the people in your life, like your parents, your friends, like acquaintances, like co-workers, even just like people in your immediate life. Like, you have to look into all that and address, like, hey, is this person good for me? Is this person adding value to my life? That's the number one thing. Are these people adding value to your life? If they're not, then your answer is right there. It doesn't matter how long they've been friends with you, or how long they've been in your life, or like what they've done for you in the past. People change. In fact, people are bound to change. People are constantly changing. The only constant in life is change. So it's like, people might have served you in your life or gave value in your life at one point, but that was just for then. They might not be able to. We outgrow people as humans. We outgrow people. So they might not be able to come with you to that next chapter of your life. They might not be able to understand where you're trying to go, and the trajectory, the vision you have for yourself. And that's okay. It's not like in the sense of cutting people off in a bad negative way, like fuck you, I'm better than you and this or that, and I'll do fine, like I'll do better without you. It's not in a malicious way. Not, everything in life should be done with good intention, because I truly, truly believe that you will get that back. If not, get that back 10 times, baby. Like, yeah, just everything is done with good and pure intentions, and if it's not serving you, just let it go. I'll just end it in that point. Like, if it's not serving you, just let it go, and it's okay. You're making room for what will serve you, in the future, and like you're making room for those people who truly love you and want the best for you and want to see you grow to come into your life. And even with relationships and stuff, dude, fuck that guy. Like, you fuck that guy. If you're struggling, like, there's plenty of people out there, and like, you don't know who you will come across, and the universe just might surprise you. Life is full of surprises, and you don't want to limit yourself, because once you limit yourself and you take these scraps, you're blocking your blessing. You're blocking your blessing, and the universe can't give you what your soul truly desires, because the universe knows what your soul truly desires. You might think you know what you desire in the moment, but the universe is you, because the you inverse, it's your world. Like it's your universe, your world, your reality. So, you know, you can't leave it to other people to change your reality. It's up to you. This is your life. You only have one life. This is your life. I do believe in multiple lives, pastimes. So I am just trying to correct that. I do believe in reincarnation. But this is in this life, this is the one life you have. And yeah. Um the next thing I wrote down was find a moral compass, a higher source, spirituality, faith, whatever it may be. I'm not religious personally. I don't even like calling myself spiritual, because especially the way the media just paints the picture of what spirituality is nowadays and everything, like I don't really fully align with that. And but I do practice, like, if I were to label myself as anything, I would say it's closest to spirituality. um there's like people looking at me, so I just got distracted. But yeah, I would say the closest thing is spirituality. um I'm sorry, y'all, people are just conveniently driving by. But the closest thing to me is spirituality, I would say. Um, or I try not to follow. I learned about what dogma means. So I try not to follow any dogma, and like, just because that's very limiting. Anything, any belief system, any system is very limiting. So I try not to follow any dogma. If anything, I practice, I take the benefit things, not the benefit, I take the good things from different religions, for different religions and different practices from different religions, and I just kind of tie them into my own spiritual practice, because I truly believe that there's truth in everything. There's truth in all religions. If you really look across all religions and different spiritual practices, you see a lot of these commonalities. Because at the end of the day, the basis is love, it's unity, it's a higher power, a source. And yeah, just seeking that. And I promise you, I think the saying is, ask and you shall receive. So if you seek the universe, if you seek that external source, that power, you will get a reply. You will get a response. Trust me, I thought it was a bunch of woohoo bullshit. Like, I did not believe it till it happened to me. And yeah, just seek something external. You need a source. You need something out from you. Not out. That's the wrong poor choice of words. Something external, but the funny thing, it's not. It's all internal. Source, everything, God, everything is within you. You are the connection to the universe. You don't need religion. You don't need all these things. But I'm not gonna get too political. But do as you wish. Use your own discernment. Everyone's different. Every soul is different. So it's like whatever works for you, and that's beautiful. Um, oh my God, there's like something going on out there. There's like an initiation going on right in front of me. That is hilarious. Interesting. Wow, we humans are interesting. Oh, it says the United States Coast Guard. There's like I don't know what you would call them, Coast Guard people practicing their initiation. So that's like that weird Cartoon Network noise in the back. But they're gone now. Oh my god, guys, it's a beautiful as fucking sunset. I had to switch my location because the lake was a little too crowded, but whew, if y'all can see this. um, but I'm gonna continue. um, what was I saying? Okay, the next point was oh yeah, I just want to end the moral compass thing by saying no one can tell you what to believe in. No one can do that for you. It is up to you. So don't let people influence you in that way. It is up to you to find your own, to form your own moral compass in a sense, to find your own values and your own belief systems. Don't ever let anyone tell you what to believe in, because you are you, they are not you, and you have to live your life at the end of the day. And yeah, oh my god, everybody just wants to be loud as fuck today. Can y'all not? um the next thing I wrote down was um find community, support, and like-minded individuals. This is a big one, and this is like one of the main ones that I wrote on my list. But this is also the one thing that I struggle with the most. I struggle with putting myself out there, and not only putting myself out there, because that's kind of like the first step, but just trusting people and trusting people. What was I gonna say? I struggle with trusting people and seeing people's intentions. Sorry, I like fumbled my words and then fumbled my thoughts. But trusting people and seeking their intentions, like understanding their intentions, that not everybody is out to hurt you. That not everybody is there in a malicious way, or not everyone is trying to come for you or attack you, or to like, you know, diminish your light. There's beautiful people out there, and beautiful souls, good people out there. And once everything is about energy again and frequency. So once you are at that energy and that frequency, that vibration, you'll start to attract. Like if you're a beautiful soul and you're at a higher um vibration, you're going to attract more of that. You're going to attract more individuals that are like you, because again, you attract who you are, not what you want. So yeah, you'll bring that in more, and that is beautiful. And yeah, community is so important, companionship and just human connection, because literally biologically, um I read somewhere biologically that humans cannot go without human connection. I mean, it just makes sense. Like, humans, we're very affectionate, we're very emotional um beings. And yeah, even touch. I heard that humans can't go without touch. Like, you can be touch deprived, you could be deprived of so many things. um but yeah, just finding that community and finding like-minded individuals, or they don't even have to be fully like-minded. People who, you have to keep an open mind. Use your own discernment, keep an open mind, and you'll attract people like that. And just, you need to build a support system. And I'm still working on this, because this is not an easy thing to do. You can't just force these things. You can't force relationships, and that's why it's not an easy thing to do. But once you get those people in your life, man, it's a fucking blessing. It is beautiful to have those lifelong friends, to have those lifelong commitments, and that beauty, that energy. Oh my god, there's another car gonna turn here. I'm gonna keep talking anyways. The next thing I wrote down was, you have to rewire and train your subconscious to think positively. This, I know I said this already, but this is like the number one fucking thing. If you take anything, any fucking thing, this is the number one thing you have to do. This completely changed my life, saved my life even. Our brains are like computers. Like, they literally are. They're like computers. What you feed it is what stays in your mind. It's what lingers in your mind. Um, yeah. What else did I write down? I wrote, train your subconscious to think positively. Um, and I bullet pointed. I said, feed your mind mindful things. You have to be mindful and, better word, conscious of what you're feeding your mind. Food for thought. Feed your mind positive things. So if you're consuming negative media, negative press, bad news, whatever it is, even people in your immediate life, like if they're constantly just sharing negative things or sharing bad things with you, you know, your perception is going to change. Your mind is going to take that all that into account. Your mind is a computer. It like it's going to process all that, and it's going to start to like um not archive, but it's gonna affect your subconscious. You're gonna subconsciously start thinking this way, in a pessimistic way, and all these, it's gonna be more detrimental to you, and you're gonna become more sensitive, and you're gonna then attract more of that to you, more of that negative news, that negative whatever. um for me personally, at the height of my depression, I was consuming a lot of like negative TikToks, negative news headlines, like clicking on negative videos, shootings, and just all this dark shit. And like, it's just like, it's a lot. Like, I don't know. All this stuff is going on around the world, and I'm only one person. I only have my immediate reality. And yes, it's not to just ignore all these things, it's like to address them within reason and to acknowledge them. But when you're constantly consuming that, that has a different impact and a different effect, you know. I was consuming so much negativity, and like my perception of the world completely changed. I couldn't be around people. My anxiety like heightened. It like tripled, probably more. Like it was just not good for me. I became fearful of people, fearful of environments. I didn't want to leave my house. It just added to my depression. It weighed me down cuz that energy is weighing me down. So yeah, don't consume low vibrational things, I wrote. Another thing that I love that was a little bit hard for me to get with is affirmations and the power of words. Words are spells, I heard. Words hold power. So if you're telling yourself all these affirmations, you're saying these through your head, you're reading these every day, like you're going to attract a lot of that. Not, oh my gosh, what the fuck am I saying, y'all? Yes, you will attract a lot of that. But if you're saying all these things, your mind, it's hard for your mind to separate between what's real and what's not a lot of the time. So if you're subconsciously feeding your mind, you're saying all these affirmations: I am whole, I am loved, I am courageous, I can do anything, like all these I's, right? You will start to naturally rewire your brain to think these things, to think positive, and become more optimistic. I was so pessimistic. I became very cynical with my view of the world, but with rewiring my brain and my subconscious, I became so much more positive. And when you become more positive and you become to just fall in love with life, you have so much more of that to give. And I couldn't give a lot of that. I wasn't outputting love. I wasn't giving that out, because I lost that within myself. So I had to find that. I had to heal and then find that again and open up my heart space, because all this negative low vibrational consumption further closed up my heart space. Aside from all the trauma and all the things that already closed up my heart space, that further closed up my heart space. So yeah, don't be careful be more conscious and mindful of what you're consuming and what you're feeding your brain. You're even feeding your body. But I'll get to that. um I also wrote, where your attention goes grows, and this is so true. Again, what you focus on, if you're focusing on positive things, you're going to bring more of that into your reality. And aside from your reality, you're just going to think that. You're going to rewire your brain to think that way. If you're focusing on love and light and these like spiritual practices, or if you're focusing on joy and just the positive things in the world, the beauty of this world, you will start to see the world for all the beauty. You will start to just even attract that and manifest that into your reality. And yeah, what you focus on grows, and or where your attention goes grows. But yeah, that's just beautiful. The next thing I wrote down, the category was science and biology, and then I said, what is your exercise routine looking like? What is your nutrition looking like? I wrote down big pharma, but I'll get into that a little more because I don't want I don't want to just throw a bunch of crazy political shit on here and have nothing to back it up. Are you eating whole foods? Are you eating fresh and organic fruit foods? I changed my diet. I became, after my spiritual awakening, which I experienced, um, I became vegetarian or plant based. I was already dairy free, and I minimized a lot of animal products before then. But I'm not saying that you guys have to go plant based or do all these things, but this is what helped me in my journey. Yeah, be just changing my diet, eating more organic, whole foods. A lot of the stuff, if it's not straight from the ground to your plate, is processed with a bunch of chemicals, a bunch of preservatives, a bunch of just shit. Honestly, just a bunch of shit. The FDA does not. They approve just bullshit. So it's like you can't listen to these organizations, because a lot of these organizations, it's just money for them. It's just capital for them. They don't really care about your health. They don't care about your well-being. So it's just taking the time to address, one, what you're already consuming, what's not good for you, and then two, taking those foods out, taking that out of your routine, and then thirdly or lastly, bringing what will benefit you in replacement of that, bringing things in that are good for you and that just won't kill you, because a lot of people are eating to die the way that they're eating, and they're not eating to live a long and healthy, happy life, because especially if a lot of us have our youth on our sides, but that doesn't last forever. We get older, we become weaker, and immune systems become weaker, more deprived. So it's very important what you're feeding, not only your mind, but your body, and all this connects and feeds your soul. And that's just, yeah. And okay. Oh, yeah. And I wrote down vitamins and minerals, because those things are very important. We always leave that out. And I'm not saying go crazy with the supplements, because I don't, but sourcing, like eating fruits and vegetables and just eating more nutrient dense things. And yeah, that has like it has completely changed my life, I would say. I feel more motivated when I wake up in the morning. I feel healthier. I feel more alive. My skin's better. Like I feel like I'm glowing more. Yeah, and oh my gosh. And the next thing, I'm going to go back to the big pharma thing. So how this video is discussing my depression, my anxiety, and that whole journey. Big pharma, I fucking hate big pharma. I hate the industry. Fuck big pharma. But this is not a political campaign. This is just me sharing my own personal story, my own experience. I never grew up with like severe depression or anything. I did experience it throughout periods of my life. Like I said, it only hit me till college and my 19s, 20s. That's when it really hit me. So I did get into I was taking anxiety meds at first. I eased into it. But then that really wasn't working, and then my lower moods and these lower states kicked in. Sorry guys, I'm gonna turn on this light too so you guys can see me better. But these lower moods and these lower states kicked in, and that wasn't sufficing. It wasn't doing much for me. I felt, well, first I'll tell you what I was taking. Sorry guys, I'm gonna drink some water. I've been talking for a minute. For a minute. I was taking Lexapro for I would say 1 to 2 years, maybe a little more, a little less, I don't remember. And then I ended up taking Wellbutrin for a little bit. And then I saw a psychiatrist, and they were trying to get me on Zoloft, and I was like, no, 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 because all these medications do is just suppress your emotions. That's why it's not working. I was doing therapy. I had 3 different therapists my entire life, and I was just, none of it was working. Nothing was working. I was still very low, and I was still in such very low moods, and I wasn't happy. Like this wasn't working, and I just the medication. A lot of people say that makes you feel like zombified, and that's a lot of like what I was experiencing. I felt like a fucking zombie. Like I felt emotionless. I felt like I was just like a zombie going through life. Like I just didn't like the way it made me feel. And again, like I was saying, these medications, these pharmaceuticals, all they do, the reason why a lot of people are still struggling with depression and struggling with anxiety. Again, this is not medical advice, but this is just my experience. I like to follow a more holistic, natural approach. Um, but a lot of the reason why these pharmaceuticals aren't working, because what they're doing is just suppressing your emotions, and they're not letting you work through them and process them, because emotions can be blocked. You have to live through that. Life is happening through us, not to us. So we have to process, knowing that we have to process our emotions. We have to let go of that grief. We have to, you know, there's no way over. You have to go through. So it's just like that's how I understand it and how I've experienced it. Um, but yeah, I'm gonna move on to the next one. I wrote down life. I'm trying to process what the fuck that even like what I meant by that, but I'll just read off the bullet points. How much time are you in nature? This is like more of like kind of just my own personal spiritual practices. I truly believe that nature was created to heal us. Nature is, again, the scenery, the beauty, the sublime, the awe, like the divine created nature to literally heal us. Like you have to seek Gaia. That's what they call her. Mother Earth, nature. Like she's healing. You have to find nurture within her. You have to seek her out. Like go on walks, get some fresh air, because a lot of the times the reason we get into these lower states, these lower mindsets and vibrations, is because we're not giving our body what it needs. And again, we all have a lot of the basic similar biological makeups and anatomy. So it's like we need these things. We need um, oxygen. We need the sun. Like we need all these things to like balance our, I was gonna say hormones, which I'm not even sure, but we need all these things to balance our mental health and everything, our mindset. And yeah, these are just things that help me again. And going into nature, just taking time away from people, the matrix, whatever you want to call it. Like it's just good for you. It feeds your soul. You need that solitude. A lot of this, yes, solitude is, and I should have wrote that down in here, but solitude is very important also. You need time alone. You need time to like recharge and to um clear your energy, clear your space, clear your mind, clear your head, clear everything. Like you need that space, that time. Like you can't just be around people and their energy 24/7, because you're absorbing all that. Like everything is energy again. You're absorbing all that. If you're around people, especially in a lower vibrational state or in lower vibrational environments that you know are lower vibration environments, there you go. You have to make that change. You have to change your environment, because you have the power to do that. There's a lot of things that we can't control, but there's also a lot of things that we can control, and we can't forget that. I wrote down practices, meditation, and healing music. Meditation, yes, it's a hard thing to do, because it's not easy to just silence your mind and to just sit there in your thoughts a lot of the time, but it works. It works. I would suggest you guys look into it more and like research, do your own research on a lot of these things that I've discussed. But meditation has helped me just relax my body, clear my headspace, and meditation also combined with frequency music or healing music. You don't have to combine them. Sometimes I oftentimes actually do them separately. I love frequency music and healing music. It just music is so healing already, but if you're consuming low vibrational music, that will also impact you, you know? So it's like, I was, not I was, I go on YouTube a lot of the time, and I just, or like every day, or whenever, or just by need, and I play a lot of like, what's it called? Damn, I forgot what the fuck they were called. Sound bowls, healing bowls, not healing bowls. I forget what they're called, but they're like the sound bowls, and there's so many, like they have Tibetan bowls. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Probably not, but there's Tibetan bowls, and just a bunch of high vibrational frequency music that just literally raises you out of that lower vibration. It makes me happy instantly, and just that meditation and just any practices that help ground you and help keep you stable and calm and keep your body and your mind calm is very important. Focus on a lot of the senses, like the temples. Sometimes I like to massage the temples just to relax my body. um, I struggle with my jaw, so I do it to my jaw also. But yeah, doing all these grounding practices, and they're gonna look different for everybody, they're not gonna work for everybody. So again, take everything with a grain of salt, but also you choose what you want to implement in your life. Practice these things, you know, don't just like don't knock it till you try it. Also, like, try out a lot of these things and see what works and see what doesn't, see what you like more of, see what you don't like more of, and yeah, that's how you would just go about that, I would say. Um and I wrote down laughing, joy, connection, touch, and the senses. I already touched on a lot of this. Um, but I forgot, I heard somewhere too that even if you're not, I wrote down laughing and joy because I read somewhere that even if you're sad, you're literally crying, you're just like not fucking having it, just by smiling, your spirit, I don't know what to call it. I'm just gonna call it vibration. Your energy, your vibration becomes higher. Like a lot of the times where I'm mad or I'm frustrated or I'm irritated or I'm even crying, I've tried it. I just smile and I just laugh. Even if I have to fake it, I laugh. I already feel better because again, a lot of the times your mind doesn't know how to differentiate um what's happening to you. So it's like your mind is going to release those chemicals. I don't know if it's dopamine, serotonin, whatever, but it's going to release that. It's going to trigger that reaction. Like, oh, she's laughing, so let me give her, or yeah, let me give her more of this or whatever. And you're going to feel that. And just, I do this all the time. I just smile, I just laugh. Like, it sounds a little silly and like kind of dumb, but it works. Y'all, this shit fucking works. And I highly recommend. Um, yeah, the senses are just getting in touch with all your senses: touch, sound, feeling. Feeling and touch are the same thing. Um, what is it? Visually, like the senses. That's how I always attack the senses whenever I'm feeling ungrounded and unstable. Because that just helps me ground and helps me just stay down on earth. Literally, just it helps me stay down on earth. Yeah, and I wrote, no, this is going to be so repetitive, but I wrote down, do things that raise your vibration. Again, do only you know what makes you happy. So do things that make you happy. That's just what I mean by that. Like, do things that child you would find happy, like your inner child would find happy, or that you just enjoy, and that will already make you be at such a higher vibrational state and a happier state because you're doing what you enjoy. And it's hard to be mad, be sad, or to be negative when you're doing something that you enjoy. So find things that you enjoy and do more of that, and you will start to see a difference. We're almost wrapping up here. It is getting a little dark, and I've been like out all fucking day. Um, but I wrote down nature, and I wrote down plant medicine, healing, and to explore all options. I wasn't sure if I was going to talk about this for legal reasons on YouTube, but I plant medicine has been, it's not for everybody, and it's not something that should be implemented on everybody's journey. But plant medicine, like in particularly like psychedelics, have changed my life. Further, in particularly mushrooms, magic mushrooms, or the shrooms, not the shrooms, the mushrooms, have changed my life immensely. Like, have completely transformed my life. Mushrooms, um, is what got me through the toughest part of my depression. I like to say that they literally came into my life. The divine just brought them into my life when I most needed them. Um, there, there is no one fix all. So it's like, again, psychedelics mixed with like all these other spiritual practices or religious practices, whatever you want to call it. Take what works and explore everything, because these options are there for a reason. And I truthfully believe that the divine put all these things. These things wouldn't exist if they weren't meant for us, if they weren't meant to heal us and for us to consume, because there's all these psychedelics. And just do your research and don't just believe everything you see out in the internet, of course, which I hope you do naturally. I should not have to tell y'all that. Please, come on. But yeah, mushrooms have just transformed my life. Um, they served their purpose for the time where I was microdosing them at one point, and that completely revolutionized my life, allowed me to get through the day and to be at a higher vibrational state when all these other practices were not helping me. This got me there, and it's not something that you have to do for the rest of your life, because I no longer, after my spiritual awakening and my transformation, and I no longer microdose them. I do larger trips here and there, when necessary or when called to. And I just, the only reason I even brought this psychedelics up is because I just want to share with the world. They have truly, 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 truly changed my life. And I like to say, even saved my life. They definitely saved my life. And I share them with everyone I can, and like share this information with everyone I can. Like, I've gotten some of my friends to even microdose, and it has helped them, and I've gotten their feedback on it. And I just continue to share that option there, because a lot of people don't know that it's an option there. And tying this back into like big pharma versus natural plant medicine, the reason I'm so pro psychedelic is because a lot of these psychedelics, they help you process these emotions. In fact, a lot of them grab your trauma, grab those emotions, those negative thoughts, and they make you process that shit, in a easy, everything's intentional, um, in a easy, like, you can perform, I say everything's intentional because, like, I make it very ritualistic for me. I make it not as just like a recreation, it's not a recreational thing for me, because these are things that should not be taken lightly. Um, I form my own practices around them. Like, I always do like a mantra or like a prayer and set my intentions before I take these things. Um, because a lot of people believe that these psychedelics plants carry entities, and you have to pay respect to that. You have to seek them out, with good intentions, and they will show you, they will guide you through. But psychedelics, oh, these not medications, these medicines, plant medicines, they go under that layer that um, big pharma and all these pharmaceuticals can't. Again, pharmaceuticals suppress your emotions. They don't help you through them and process them. You have to process them, because suppressing is just burdening. You're burdening yourself. You're still carrying all that weight, all that trauma, all that energy. Psychedelics allow you to process that and let a lot of that go and pinpoint the cause, the root of a lot of this stuff. And not only that, but they give you the solution. And that is incredible. And I have never experienced anything like that. A drug, nonetheless, a fucking plant that's literally grown from the fucking earth, that has the capability to heal me like that. And I have never felt a higher love, a higher frequency, never in my life, like I did on plant medicine. And a lot of people are just gonna be, oh yeah, because you're on fucking drugs. Like, no, I don't see these things as drugs. I really don't. This is healing, sacred, ancient, like, knowledge, medicine. Like, this is so much more than that. And I really suggest that you guys look deep into this stuff and do your own research again. um and yeah, use your own discernment, always, 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 with everything and anything. But just to know that there's many options out there. There is no one fix all, and seek help if you need it. Seek external guidance, seek community, just seek help if you really need it and you can't do it alone, but do your research. And yeah, I wish healing for all of you. And I don't think I wrote anything else down, but oh yeah, I said life is about moderation and balance. um Yeah, life is about moderation and balance. Everything in life, I truly believe that anything could be abused. Even plant medicine can be abused. Um, so find a balance, find motivation, find not motivation, find moderation, and you are in control of your life at the end of the day. You are a co-creator with the universe. You have to meet the universe halfway, because the universe can't do it all. The universe has 8 billion different people to look after, in this one world. So it's just like you have to have aligned action, and you have to want for any of the stuff that I talked about to work. You have to have aligned action. You have to take action. You have to want better for yourself. You have to want to heal. You have to want to improve. You have to want these things. They're not just gonna happen. um Sorry, there's like some there's a notification. But yeah, you have to want a lot of these things. These things are not gonna come naturally. With everything in life, you have to do the work. I know it sucks, but it is so much greener on the other side. It is so much more beautiful on the other side, and life is just so much better on the other side once you do the work and you heal and you do the shadow work. You just implement these practices, because a lot of this stuff is ancient stuff. Like, it's stuff that has helped people for centuries. And just, if it ain't broke, don't fix it also. You know what I mean? Like, this stuff exists because there's truth in it. There's truth in so many things, and you just have to find out what works for you. And yeah, I hope this first podcast episode wasn't too rambly, but I'm just happy that you guys, if whoever sat through all this, thank you. I love you, and I wish you the best in your own journey and with healing. And just thank you for listening to me and my story and being part of my journey wherever this podcast takes me. But yeah, thank you guys. I'm just gonna hop off because it's getting dark and a little scary. And I haven't ate all day, and I just have a lot to do. So I'm gonna go. But thank you once again. I love you guys, and good luck on your journey. Hey guys, it's Editing May here. I just wanted to hop in and say thank you for watching that first episode of the Through My Eyes podcast. And I hope this first episode helped you guys and anybody going through anything. And yeah, I just wanted to say to like and share this video, and please subscribe to help spread this message and boost me in the algorithm. And thank you.